Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going to perfect the tension on my new serger. Yes, so if you have trouble with your overlocker or serger, depending on where you live, then today's video is really going to help you out because I've got a methodical way of working out the tension. You won't look back. Honestly, you won't look back. This is a great tip. So let's get into the video, shall we? So you might know or you might not know, but a little while ago I got a brand new serger. I did do a video where I unboxed it, so do check that out. I also have another video where I tried to make a top in an hour. So when I was doing that, the tension was really messed up and I had to spend a bit of time doing it. That ate into my challenge, I have to say. So you're going to need 4 strips of fabric. I've got one here which is about 20 inches long by 6 inches wide, folded in half. So you want your fabric to be the same weight as the fabric that you're then going to sew on your serger. That's really important because there's no point practicing on a mid-weight fabric if you're then going to use a chiffon, because the tension will be off. The weight is really important. So we're going to pretend that I'm going to make a garment in cotton, mid-weight cotton, because that's the only fabric I had that is white that you're going to be able to see very clearly, and we are going to write on them. So here's some I did earlier. I've always wanted to say that. Blue Peter, here I come. You can see here, I'll do a close-up of them as well, but I've written numbers. So I've started at 0 at the top and I've gone 1, 2, 3 all the way down to 9 because they're the settings on my machine. And this one I've labelled ow, which means lower looper. I've written out 3 of them and I'm going to write out 1 with you and then we will have a look at the machine. So we're just going to start at the top. So I want my folded edge to be the side that I'm actually going to sew. So I've got to bear that in mind. So I'm going to do 1 line 1 inch from the top. And then I'm going to do lines 2 inches apart. So what we're going to do now is we're going to number them on the opposite side to the side where we're going to sew. So I'm going to sew on the folded edge, so I'm going to write my numbers over here. You're going to want to do that on all 4 strips. So you're going to label them lower looper, upper looper, left needle and right needle. So there we go. We've got them all labelled at the top and we've got all our numbers. So now we're going to go over to the machine. Right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is put a different colour thread on each looper because that's going to help us locate issues and problems. Right, so before we get started doing this, we just need to understand what we're dealing with on the machine. So on the side, you've got a differential feed and a stitch length. Yours might be 2 dials. Mine's a lever for the stitch length. And you just want to make sure that they're on what the manufacturer recommends. So mine is there. And it's as when I got it. So looking at the front, you've got 4 dials. Yours might be actual dials, or all 4 might be like this. If you've got a 3-thread serger, you might just have 1 needle. So you've got a left needle and a right needle, an upper looper and a lower looper, and you want to put them on what the manufacturer recommends. So in my case it's 4 and it's denoted there with those little black markers, and there I've got 2 lines, so you'll see on your own anyway. So I've got them all on 4, which is what the manufacturer recommends. And then when I'm going to test the left needle, I just move that to 0. I'll test it, then once I've tested it I will pull it on whatever I determine is the best length or the best number, and then I'll move on to the right one. I'll turn that to 0, test it, then pull it on whatever number I deem appropriate. Then I'll move over to the upper looper, put that on 0 when I'm testing that. Then once I've done it, I'll put it on the number that I determined, and then I'll move over to the lower looper, put that on 0. Once that's done, I'll put it on the level that it should be, and then once you've got them all on the levels that you've determined are the best ones, you can sew through and you'll see that you have got perfect stitching. But you'll see as we get on with it. So what we're going to do now is we're first going to work with the left needle. So if you're only using a 3-thread serger, then you can miss this one, obviously. So first off, we want to set the left needle to 0. So I've just got the needle on 0 just there. Go to number 1. Stop on the line of number 1. And then we're going to move that up to 1. Sew until number 2. And then move the tension to number 2. And so on. And that is what you do. That's our left needle done. Let's take a look. So here are the results of my left needle. So as you can see, the stitching is really different as we go down. As you come to this area, you can see it's really tight, but up here it's really loose. So let's take a closer look. So as you can see here, that should be a straight line of stitching closest to my finger, but it's not, it's almost a zigzag. So we know that's far too loose. So we want to go down until we see a straight line. And it becomes more of a straight line at about 2 here, but it's still quite loose. I've kind of given it away because I've already marked it here. But around here is when it is perfect, because if we go on down, it gets tighter and tighter to where you can barely even see the stitches until it gets so tight that the needle became unthreaded. If we go back up to here, you can see there that it's pretty perfect. If we turn over, you can see here it is very loose because it's not a straight line at all. Doesn't become a straight line until about there, and it's pretty perfect around there. But if we go further down, you can barely even see the stitch, which means it's way too tight and the fabric is really puckering around here as well. So that's how we know that we're going to choose 4. So once you've assessed your left needle, draw a mark on it to tell you which number you need. And then you'll go back to your machine and you will change the left needle tension to 4. I've got the right needle piece, so let's get to work. We've got to move the right needle doodah to 0. So here we are with our right needle tension. So as you can see, it's the same. So when I was sewing it, I forgot the needle would come unthreaded, but that didn't matter because we're doing the right needle, not the left needle. It was the left needle that was unthreaded. So there's just one line of stitching all the way along here, and that's the line we need to look more closely at. Again, you can see something weird is going on with the fabric down here, so it's definitely not down here. It's a sneak peek, it's number 6 on mine. And up here it's a bit weird as well, but let's take a closer look. It's quite hard to tell here, but the stitching is quite loose. You can see there that it's very loose. We carry on down. It starts to get better around this point, which is number 5, but I would say that it's perfect at number 6, which is where I've done it. But really, you could even put it at 5 or 6. It doesn't really matter. But as we go down, it becomes really tight again until you can barely even see it. Let's take a look on the back side. So the thread that we're looking at is the purple thread. So this should not be a zigzag. This should be a straight line. And so you can see problems right up until about this point here. And then you see problems again from this point downwards. The perfect spot is between here and here. So I said 6 when I was doing this, but I would probably move it up a little bit to maybe 5. But I can see it is still quite loose at 5. So I can see why I chose 6. 6 it is. So now we're going to move on to the loopers. The one in from the edge is called upper looper, and it should say on your machine. So we're going to set that to 0. So let's do the upper looper. So now we've done this one, and we just need to assess it in much the same way. So our upper looper is this green thread that you can see. And what we need is for the fabric not to pucker for a start, and it does quite a lot here. But also we want the green thread to stop right on the edge and meet the yellow thread, which is the lower looper. Because of the nature of how the two loopers wrap around each other, it's very difficult to see looking on the front here. But we can get some clues. So let's have a better look. Right, so here at the beginning, you can't really see here anything here, but we'll have a look at the back in a minute, and that will be more telling. But you can see quite a few puckers along here, which gives you a little clue that it's not okay. If we just look at the puckers all along there, you could, I don't know if they're picking up on camera, but there are very subtle puckers there until we get to 6, which is where I think it is pretty perfect. But if we go further down, you could start to see the yellow thread is coming over. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but in person you can definitely see the yellow thread is wrapping around the front. And that means that the green thread is too tight down here, which we know because 9 is super tight. So let's have a look on the other side. So we're up at 0 here. And you can see the green thread is wrapping right around, and there's very little yellow thread or lower looper thread. Now the yellow looper thread should be up to the edge. We know the upper looper is too loose here and is being pulled over by the lower looper. So as we go along, we want to get to a point where the green thread can barely be seen, if seen at all, along here. So I would say from about here, which is 4, through to there, which is 6. So from 4 to 6, there is where it's pretty perfect, 6.5 even. And then we see that it starts wrapping around the front. So if we go from there, I think there to there, that's 5.5 to 6. No, that's 4.5 to 6.5, where it's pretty perfect. So I've just put it in the 6 bracket, and that's what I've decided for that one. So here we are with the lower looper. Now for the lower looper, we need to concentrate on the back, not the front. But let me just talk you through the front a little bit. Right, we can see here that you've got the yellow thread coming over the front, and that is because the yellow thread is really, really loose, and it's being pulled over by the green thread, which is the upper thread. But as we go down here to about 2 or 3, you only see it on the actual edge, and I would say about 4, which is where I decided, as you can see, barely even see it at all. Between 4 and 6 actually, you can barely see it. And then afterwards, look, something weird is happening to the green thread, and that is because the yellow thread on the other side has become too tight, and then we lose stitching again down here because it's so tight. So let's have a look on the other side, because this is going to give us a better idea. So at the top, you don't see any green because the yellow is too loose and it's wrapping around the other side, as you can see there. But as we move down, you can start to see the tiniest bit of green along here, which is a really good sign. If we turn over, you've got the green on that side and you've got the yellow on that side, which is what we want to see. And I've actually marked it there, probably, yeah, anywhere between 3 and 5 in this case would be okay, I think. But if we move down, you can see the yellow thread, the lower looper has become really, really tight and it's dragging over the upper looper until we lose the stitching down here. Going back up here, I would say that between 3 and 5, but I'm just going to say 4 is perfect. Once you've done that and you've set your machine, I do advise you to take a photograph of your machine so you do not forget, and make a note in the comments of that photograph just to say this is mid-weight cotton, for example, because once you've tested this with all the different weights that you use, you shouldn't have to keep doing it. It might be that, say you use one lightweight cotton and then you used a different lightweight cotton, you might be tweaking it like half a point on, say, the lower looper or the upper looper or one of the needles, for example, but you shouldn't have to move it a lot. Now, if you have done this and you're at like number 8 or 9 and you're at number 3, then your machine is probably wanting a service. It shouldn't veer too far off what the recommended amount is or the recommended level is for your machine. So do have a look in your book. So that is it. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, do give me a like, thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if this was helpful to you. Maybe you've got another way of showing how to do it. Do let us know down below because that always helps other people. If you found this particularly useful, do consider purchasing a coffee. I'm going to write a blog article which I will publish on coffee for those of you who have paid in the last 30 days. You'll be able to access that. So do check that out. All the information will be down below. I will catch you in the next one. Happy sewing. Bye for now.